Welcome to the Chores playthrough remake. After several months of technical difficulties, I've finally managed to fix the problems that I've had by recording using a video camera. So as a result, this is the Chores playthrough, and we're going to begin with enemy encounters. So I'm basically bringing back enemy encounters in the old style, the way it used to be, for this entire playthrough and for possibly any other playthroughs I make. But anyway, we'll start off with the first enemy you ever encounter in Chores, and that is the pill bug. It's a more realistic name because it suits it as the pest, and it gets a simple little number 5 on the bitchometer. Our second enemy encounter throughout this demod is the brown Bonca, the standard Bonca, and its more realistic name is mutated polar bear, because it's brown and we're in... well, yeah, you get the idea. It gets a whopping 15 on the bitchometer just for being a mini boss fight in the middle of this demod pretty early on. And yeah, moving on again, we're moving on to a really intriguing little enemy. We call it the grey Bonca with a duck. So it's like horseback riding or some other crap, and we're just going to call it the Duck Knight. It's a bit of a realistic name. It's a duck riding a horse, but he hasn't got a weapon other than the horse's tail, or in this case the Bonca's tail, and it gets a simple 12 on the bitchometer, because it's not as difficult, but it's still difficult, like the brown Bonca. Moving on from then, we've got the Grey Knight, which is actually encountered in two different styles, but we're just going to call this the Henchman's Folly, I suppose, which is a rather random but effective name, and it gets a 20 on the bitchometer, as well as, believe it or not, we're actually going to drop that to a 16, because after the first time you fight it, he's just not as difficult. And that's all of the enemies encountered throughout the Chores demod, so let's get a move on, shall we? Hello! I think this is finally working now, so... yeah, that was absolutely foul lighting effects for no reason, and me dropping my headphones and recording with a video camera. How's the quality? Shit? Okay, well, too bad for you, because that's how it's going to be run from this point onwards. Yeah, I'm just going to ignore that. That was Chanlog just then being displayed for no reason. And this is my desktop background. Not too bad, is it? Well, anyways, we're just going to move on to open DFARC 3. And you know why, because you've already seen the title. If I put it at the start of this video, or maybe you haven't seen the title yet, maybe I'll put the title up now. But anyway, welcome, finally, to the absolute, total, and just made Chores playthrough remake. And I do mean remake, because the last time I did this, the whole thing was completely fail. And yeah, I'm just going to record up to the start and the intro here while I'm holding the camera like this until I can get something to actually put the camera on. So let's see how this goes. I'm using the camera's screen to move around and click here. So I've got no save data, I've deleted it all. Clean start. Thank you for downloading this demod. There are a few options available. You can access them by pressing the escape key at any time. Remember not to use cheat menus for saving, as it will mess up the font loading code. Now, shall we begin? And yeah. After a long career of world saving,
Dink decided to take a little break from being a hero. Again. And in this case it is actually a game because I'm doing this whole demo again. The playthrough. And to be honest, I really don't actually feel like reading out all the dialogue, but you can do that when you play it through yourself, or if you can actually understand half of it from the camera's view. That's as close as I can get it to the screen without it blowing too badly, so yeah. Anyways, basically the concept behind the storyline of Chores involves a little bit of running around and not too much combat until later on in the D-mod, but there's not too much of that anyways either. And it does get a little bit difficult, but not too difficult near the end. And yeah, so at this point the cutscene moves on to the main section and starting to actually play the game. And Dink arrives in a country or something with his aunt, which he calls Granny at times and stuff, which actually is mildly confusing. Portola, that's the town I think it is, or Portilla. It seems that gets confusing a little bit as well. Welcome to the town, blah blah blah. That sounds like a funny name. Hey! This is going kind of great. And yes, this time I have actually downloaded the latest version of Chores, because when I was originally doing this I was doing it as the beta dmod at the time, which I was just too lazy to download the update which had just been released, and I was beta tester for it, and so here we go. Just put it inside. Here we go. Dink! Jeez, could you walk any slower? Welcome, Dink. I'm glad you made it here. So quickly. Missed that bit of dialogue for a second. I'm just going to pause this recording right now so I can find something that I can actually sit this damn camera on, because holding it up's hurting my arm. The camera's like all the way back here and now, and the desk is there and it's all the way up, so I gotta... Well, you get the picture, so let's move on.